So I'm here recording something else and thought, while I have a minute, I wanted to just talk about integrating younger players and new players into your worship team, and kind of something I've been trying to be more intentional about the last few years. Just celebrated 20 years at my church here in Lindale, Texas, which is great. I've loved being a part of this community, loved being the worship pastor there. I've kind of grown up here in terms of learning how to lead and growing in that. But on the other hand, I recognize that I don't want to be there forever. I think it's important to be intentional about pulling in the next generation and giving them a chance to find their legs in leading worship, and to find those that I feel like, man, there's a calling on their life, and there's a calling on their life, just like somebody did for me at one time. So if you're, somewhere in your 40s or maybe 30s and 40s or 50s, and I just want to challenge you to look for some of the younger people in your congregation that you feel like you have some gifting, have some a sense of, man, that's just part of who they are, and look for ways to integrate them in the band. Now, one of the things I've done is one gal that plays guitar, she was a little bit nervous at first, so I had her just sit in with the band, with the charts, playing along, but she wasn't plugged in. But just to get her used to being on stage with the band and playing the chords. And then after doing that a few times, and she was feeling more confident, then I was like, you want to get plugged in? And then even then, the sound man is aware that, she's not going to be way out front. But again, it's like you're putting training wheels, in a sense, on some of these newer players. There's a couple younger folks that are leading worship with me, but maybe, personality-wise, they are a little bit shy, or they don't quite have that hosting experience, that initial hey, good morning everybody, let's all stand up together. So I'll have them lead beside me, either on an instrument, either their guitar, or maybe just vocally. And maybe I'll come out and lead that first song, do the initial, good morning everyone, let's all stand together, and let's just begin to turn our hearts to the Lord, and I'll maybe lead that first song. And then coming out of that song, maybe then I'll back up. I don't make a big deal out of it, but just that person beside me will then just begin leading that next song. And I'm a little bit off mic, but I'm still playing along. And maybe I'll have him or her lead or start that next one, the third song perhaps. And then towards the end of our time of worship, I'll kind of lean in maybe and just provide a little bit more of that transitional moment, because I'm maybe a little more experienced in that area. So again, I found it to be a good way to sort of hand the baton off, to Operation Handoff. And that may take many years, it may take many months. Over the years I've done that, and sometimes people would rise up and then they go off to another church, which is fine. But I think we just all need to be intentional about looking for ways to pull in other players, especially the next generation, and just handing that baton off. So just be thinking about that. And those are two principles. If they're a player, integrate them in with the band. Maybe don't plug them in at first, get them comfortable. Or if it's a leader, let them lead beside you and kind of co-lead. And then one day, it's just a beautiful thing to watch them just take off and just operate in what God's gifted them to do. It's a beautiful thing. So try it.